Oh, what's up, everyone? It is I. I'm your SGW guy, the Doctor of Foodology, coming at you with Gina Marie down below. We got FP to the right. Down in the corner, we got Marshall Mad Mikey. And sorry we're a little bit late. We just had some technical issues. Again, wouldn't be the show without technical issues. So, wow. Behave, Mark. So, I was thinking, I've been catching a lot of feed on that fight last night. So that's something we could chat about. Oh. Molly, stop. It's everybody was talking about that fight last night.
You see what happened?
Now, I mean, Tyson still looked pretty good. Don't get me wrong; he looked really good. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't see the fight. I don't know what happened. They said that other guy, what Jake Paul was his name? Is his name?
What?
The guy who was fighting Tyson.
Yeah.
I mean, he was younger. He was probably more. I don't know. They said he was more faster. He landed more punches.
He's younger and faster, kind of, but he put about the same amount of punches. It was close to call that way, but he was like off balance the first round. It was just weird.
Did you watch it last night, FP?
Yeah.
What's up, Mike? Did you watch the fight last night?
I don't have Netflix. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't have it either. Yeah, I didn't watch it.
I'm sorry, but once they started doing all those virtually what amounted to grooming videos for children to be more, I don't know, they were doing like really weird stuff with children.
Really?
As far as exploitation goes. It was just, I'm not giving money to that.
Gotcha.
So.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Thank you to the four that are hanging. Sorry we're a little bit late, but we are here now, ready to rock and roll. It looks like we lost Gina, though. But
she's having some problems.
Okay. Now, Fred's not going to be joining us for a couple weeks. He has some stuff going on. But from if I read before, he was going to see Andrew Dice Clay. I think did I read right? I think he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. I have to take this upstairs or outside.
It's too cold outside.
It's not cold outside.
It is for me. So what do you think about last night's fight?
We don't have Netflix, so we didn't watch it, but I heard lots of stuff about it.
That's the same. I dumped my Netflix probably 2-3 years ago, at least. At least. So I want to welcome you all to the show tonight, and we are streaming on Instagram too. I figured out what I was doing wrong over there. So if anybody wants to chat in about the fight, please do. Tell me your thoughts. We want to hear from you.
Oh, just to mention too. Sorry.
What was that?
I just wanted to mention we're now also streaming on Twitter.
Oh,
my channel, my Twitter channel, which is at.
Oh, go ahead.
My channel is at Real MC Rogers, and basically, I'm getting confused because there's like a horrible echo.
I told you, I have no way to. I don't have headphones I could use with my phone.
Yeah, you do.
No, they're not working. They have to be Bluetooth.
You have a headphone jack?
No.
You don't have a headphone?
There is no headphone jack on my phone.
That's impossible. Okay.
Yeah, my phone's kind of messed up.
I was gonna say, I think
Oh, I might be able to go out and come back on through my computer in a minute or so.
hang on. Yeah, Bluetooth, I assume.
I had my earplugs or the earbuds plugged in, and it wasn't streaming through that. It's going through the speaker.
Do you have your thing turned on?
Yeah.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
One thing I have is because for work.
I don't think they're dead yet. Well, they are getting low. Maybe that's why.
You got to charge them.
I just used them yesterday,
Ah,
and I don't use them that often. But it was actually not working for my phone today. Sorry, my daughter bought me pizza and bites from Pizza Hut today.
oh, there you go. I was actually just jamming before we went. I was jamming on Stouffer's frozen dinner, the stuffed peppers, which actually are not bad from Stouffer's. I will say they are pretty good. So yes, about 15 minutes in the mic, and you're good to go. So it was funny before, and Mike might remember this. Oh, he's not here yet.
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Back, I was over at my one sister's house with my oldest. I have an older sister and an oldest sister, and around 2 o'clock, we always kind of end up hanging over my sister's house, my older sister's house, just to just kind of catch up weekly, just bullshit.
Earphones that I'll plug into my computer because it's coming up eventually. For that work.
And
I don't know what kind of charge you're gonna have.
and my niece has autism, and she shout out to my older sister if you're watching, if you're checking in with us, and she loves to watch her videos. And do you remember Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah.
She was watching Schoolhouse Rock, and I'm sitting there going, God, I'm having like flashbacks of like Saturday mornings. You're sitting there watching TV, you're watching your cartoons, and like Schoolhouse Rock comes on, and it was the so that kind of flashed me back. Ooh, we lost. Let's see. Oh. Oh, she's here, but we don't see video. Oh, thanks, Mark. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was on vacation this week, so I was just kind of hitting a lot of food videos, doing a lot of cooking shows. I was telling FP before we started, I was been up like I can't sleep, and for some reason I'm not sleeping. And Molly, stop. Molly hears somebody outside, and so I'm up at like 4:30 in the morning. There she is. 4:30 in the morning. Hey, attack dog, relax. So yeah, Mark, I've been doing a lot of doing a lot of shows. Actually, my end of the year NEPA cheesesteak project video is done. That'll be up on it's actually up, it's uploaded, but it's not set to premiere till December 31st. So we'll see that December 31st. I'm trying to put together another video for Outside the Box for the last video of the year. So yeah, got a lot of stuff going on. The weddings died down for the season, but no, I'm still keeping myself busy. But yeah, it was funny because again, going back to Schoolhouse Rock, I think that's where everybody like learned about stuff, not even realizing they were being taught something. We just like the cartoon. So Mark, did you check out the fight last night? What was your thoughts, or do you have any thoughts of the fight last night?
I moved it back that way. It was facing me. I didn't want me on camera twice.
Or anybody out there, thank you. I see we got 13 people watching, so that's awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us.
I was saying
Yeah.
before that we can now get my Twitter going because I'm now a Twitter subscriber. So
Beautiful, awesome. So hello to the Twitter people. I tried to connect my Twitter, but they're like, "Oh, you don't have enough followers," so they're like, "No, you can't yet," or something. Or I'm like, "All right, whatever."
it's they want money.
Yeah, he's not getting my money.
Well, Elon has my money.
Not for Twitter, anyway.
I don't know. The TV app's pretty cool.
I'm going to shut this down.
I now have a blue check mark next to my name. Sorry, what's that?
Cool.
Gina?
I'm shutting it down for a minute. I'm going to see if I can bring it up here.
Okay.
Mike, looks like you got a shout out from John. Hey, John, what's going on? Thanks for hanging with us.
Oh, John,
And tonight, the drink of the day is zero sugar Snapple iced tea.
In here?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, John.
If you see the chat, it's over there. It's the third one.
Yeah, I can't see John. Oh, there he is. What's
Looks
happening,
like John?
John?
Looks like
John's
John
a great guy.
Oh, that's awesome. What's up, John? Looks like John is joining us through Facebook. So thank you for hanging with us through Facebook.
Right. I'm going to log off here and come back in on the computer.
Okay. She's going to log off and try to come back through the computer.
Oh, okay.
You know, because when we're in the same room, we always have really horrible feedback problems.
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah.
When
Mike,
you said that when you guys first started out, it was just you and FP.
Yeah.
And did you guys have problems with that?
No, because he was in one room, I was in the other.
Oh, okay.
Or well, when we started going live, he was at his house, I was at my house. So yeah, no. Mark, though,
This is our friend Xavier. He decided to sit in with me there for a second, and then Gina just came back into the room, so he thought maybe there's food happening or something, so he jumped on.
So, Mark, I have to agree with you. Like, if I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm starving, I cannot go back to bed, or I cannot sleep. I cannot fall asleep on an empty stomach. It does not happen. Nope.
Oh, come here.
Oh, so even though Tyson technically lost, he still made $20 million. That's not
That's not losing.
No, not at all. I mean, from what I saw though from the pictures, I mean Tyson, for what, he's almost like 60 years old.
He's like 58.
He looked pretty damn good. I mean, you know, picture wise, he looked good.
Yeah, like when Foreman came out of retirement and everything, he did not look good. He looked, It looked basically like an old refrigerator.
But from what I read, what did the other guy, Jake Paul, is that his name? I guess he landed more hits than Tyson did. So that's technically how they ended up giving him the win. I heard there was no knockouts or anything. It was just
From what I understand, the fight was boring. They kept lagging. They kept like every 3 seconds it would buffer. Apparently, Netflix doesn't know how to do a live stream, and it was pretty much a failure for them, from what I understand.
Yeah, I heard they had a lot of issues with their streaming too. Did it what's up, Marcus? Did it just everybody logging in just over bog it down, or that's what it sounded like?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't pay, like I said, I don't really pay attention to Netflix, and
Yeah, me neither.
Watching Mike Tyson come out of retirement, I'm fine. I don't need to relive the '90s.
He went up against a guy who does MMA.
What about M&M's?
He does MMA. The guy he went up against. Wait, don't get me wrong. Tyson looked good.
Yeah, he did. I mean, for an old guy, hell, I hope I looked that good at 58.
They showed that he was wearing a cloth.
I don't know. At the rate of my degeneration, I don't know if I'm going to look that good at 58. I don't look that good now, and I'm 52. So.
Oh, hold on. Let's get Gina back in here. All right, Gina.
All right.
So,
ground control to Gina Marie.
But looks like Mark. I don't know if you caught Jancy had a question. Who played in a high school game? Was it WPIAL game?
Whipple?
WPIAL. Got me. I don't. Oh, I wouldn't want to run him to an alley either. He'd kick my ass. I'd be like, run away saying, screw that.
You'd probably have half an ear.
Yeah.
Hi, John.
But, okay, so also saying that we're all here. My niece was over. I was hanging with my niece today, and she was watching the Schoolhouse Rock. That said, brought me back flashbacks back to when I was like 8 or 9 or some crap like that, whatever how old it was, and never realized they were trying to teach us something, but you're just, hey, it's a cool sounding cartoon.
I'm just a bill.
That was one of them.
And I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, that's or conjunction junction. What's your function? Yeah, and I'm there going, God, I remember this stuff like it was yesterday. So is it like sad that I remember all this, or how old we are?
Well, it's part of Saturday morning cartoons on ABC.
Oh, I know.
You remember more than I did. I got to step away for a second to see if Loki's ready to come back in.
No, I was just out there.
I know. Now that he
So,
knows.
FP, what's your take on everything? How's your world been?
John just said hi.
Any new videos, Mike? Did you get any new videos lately?
Yeah, littering. I'd have to actually go to the computer to do all that.
On the computer. Yeah. And so
Yeah, I'm on. When you see me on the couch, I'm on my cell phone.
Gotcha.
and not lag, but I got to take the one headphone off because I'm hearing myself reflect back at me. So
All right, I'm back. Had to let Loki in. So Loki could see his brother.
What's up, Joey? Do I remember Steam Pipe Alley? No, not not ringing a bell with that one.
look in the chat, Gina.
I saw him.
Oh.
John McCorney said hi to me.
He did.
I saw him. Yeah, can you tell we're in the same?
No, not at all. Yeah, Droopy Dog. I never really watched Droopy Dog. I was more watching Saturday mornings. It was like the Super Friends and oh crap, I forget what I watched, but it was like from like 8 in the morning, right after the news, until like noon. Then they would always play their after ABC after school or afternoon special or some crap. Or I'm like, up.
Oh, I always
It
watch
wasn't
Smurfs, Looney Tunes, all that stuff that was on Channel 16.
It was. Oh, then I probably watched it, but yeah. But yeah, it's funny. I always have to laugh because it took for me to get up for school. Like was my mother would like literally like beat me over the head to try and get me up. But Saturday mornings, man, I was up at like 7 o'clock, waiting for the news to come off so cartoons would start, and my dad would come down for work, get ready for work. He's like, "What are you doing up so early? Like, why can't you get up this early during the week?" I'm like, "Well, it's Saturday morning cartoons."
You'd have to get up that early during the week for school.
Yeah, I couldn't get up to save my life, but Saturday mornings, man, I was up at 7 o'clock, waiting for those cartoons to start. Hong Kong Fooey. Oh yeah.
I was one of those weird people. I liked school.
Yeah, I didn't. Not at all.
Well, until I got to high school.
And now I got.
Yeah, Jay. If you want to, if you look on my Facebook profile, if you wanted to share a video, I got a nice one of people littering in front of my place, like literally just dumping stuff out of a car.
Throwing it on the sidewalk.
Let's see. Let me pull up my Facebook. Yes, in case everybody's wondering, Fred is not here.
Well, he pulled up his Facebook and pulled himself out of the stream. Okay, I was actually this echo is becoming intolerable. I just had a novel idea though. I might just go out to my car because like I have like a stand like I have here out in my car. So that might be a solution. There's Jay.
Yeah, I'm here. When I was pulling up Facebook, I don't know, it did something. Is that the guy, the Nissan guy?
No, that's my vape.
No. The video you're talking about, the guy, is that the guy in the blue Nissan?
Is that what it was?
The Jetsons?
No, the car. Up front. It's
Oh,
either
yeah.
blue or black.
Or black, blue, dark something?
Yeah, you see the guy with the camouflage type jacket on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me. I had to see it on a larger screen to see it. He threw yogurt out of the back seat. That kid with the camo.
Let's see here. Let's see if we can. If the well, there is no audio, so that'll be good. Hold on, yeah. Let me share that.
You don't need audio.
No, no, we don't.
There it is.
There's the demo guy.
Yeah, right here. He throws. Watch him. He throws a thing of yogurt out, like yogurt all over the sidewalk. There it is.
Oh, yeah,
And the other guy's emptying pizza boxes out onto the sidewalk on the curb there. It's like, what are you, from a third world country? I mean, God.
Well, people have no respect for anything anymore.
I mean, eventually I'm going to have to go out there and clean that up. Yeah, it's like a little 1 minute deal.
Yeah, but it's like people have no respect for other people's stuff. Like that's what kills me now these days. Let's see.
But yeah, Twitter membership, it's not that bad. You know, it's like $11 a month.
Oh, that's not
But
bad.
I'm into. What's that?
I thought it was more than that. Yeah, that's not bad.
You could pay it. It's like anything else. You could pay it all at once and pay less, or pay it monthly and pay a little more. But $11 a month. I'm thinking I'm going to dump Disney Plus anyway, because Disney Plus just upped their rates again. It's like $17 a month now. When I first signed up, I think it was like 10.
Yeah, when
I never watch it. I mean, that last thing, that Acolyte thing, it's like, oh god, it's like so beyond woke.
Yeah,
Like they're literally, and like they came out and said, oh, we're gonna ruin it for the old men, the Star Wars fanboys. We're gonna go out and just ruin Star Wars on you. Well, they're doing it.
I mean, the Acolyte I could not get into. That Andor I couldn't get into.
No, that one either. I couldn't get into. I didn't like that one either. I didn't even try to watch it. I thought his character was so boring.
Yeah.
Why make a whole series about him?
Now I like The Mandalorian and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I like those two.
They were good.
But
The Mandalorian at the end there started getting a little wokey. What they did to Gina Carano was ridiculous. You know, she threw out a conservative-leaning tweet on Twitter, and they fired her for it.
yeah, I didn't see what she tweeted.
This is back when Twitter was Twitter, before Elon X.
Gotcha. That was a while ago. It's yeah, I left.
Yeah, they deleted her. They deleted her Twitter account. She got fired from Disney.
I remember throughout the years, like Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, like who were part of the Disney growing up. They all said that you had to like maintain this like perfect. Like you couldn't do no wrong. I mean, you're kids. You're gonna do stupid crap. You know. I mean, but like, nope, they couldn't do that. They had to like watch what they did. Watch, because they would for the Disney image. I'd be like, shit on that.
And then you look back and see that they were all being abused.
Yeah. Not Disney people. Not. They don't want to kill their image.
It's a big savior.
Road runner, if that coyote catches you, road runner, if he catches you, you're through. I'm just replying to John there. Bugs Bunny Roadrunner.
Marcus, I didn't watch that one. I don't know how that one. By then, I already like my Disney account was like I didn't pay it, so I got deactivated. But
Marcus, when I saw like what was going on like with the Acolyte, it's like, yeah, no, no. I was gonna say stuff, but it's like, no, we're a little more PG friendly here, so I'm not gonna go into different things that I had heard, which kind of just made me back off and say, yeah, I don't see Jedi being born that way, and
I'm looking at what Mark just said.
I didn't hear.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah,
but
me neither.
I could see them turning her away because she likes to badmouth everybody.
Oh no! There's a whole story there. With Whoopi.
Yeah.
She tried to claim that this Jersey bakery refused her business because of who she is and what she believes in and what she espouses. They had a boiler issue and they weren't baking at all that day. But somebody before they had the boiler issue just happened to get in there and get the cakes that she wanted. And they opted to like, oh, okay, well, if Whoopi couldn't get them, we got them, so we're going to like send them over to her. Because yeah, they had like these people have been in business for over 145 years, and 146 years actually. I saw this report, and it's an older building, and their boiler just blew up, and I mean they had to have somebody come in and fix it. So when it came to like when the View was on, they said, oh, well, they're claiming some kind of boiler. They had a legit boiler issue. I mean, they had local politicians from Staten Island come out and say this is egregious, because Whoopi essentially went on the air and deliberately tried to ruin these people's business, which they were very clear. We will serve anyone. We don't care about your political affiliations or whatever. If you give us money, we will give you our product.
I was gonna say, if you're in business for 140 some years, you're not gonna jeopardize that by refusing somebody based on whatever, unless they came in disturbing and being
this all happened over the telephone, which she was basically phoning in a delivery order from them.
Oh,
and it's like we can't bake anything. Our boiler is shut down.
And she took it as she was being refused service for
right. And she went all over television, The View and all that, bad mouthing these people. And she didn't mention them by name, but like their cakes are very, or whatever they make, are very famous to the area, to that to New York and Staten Island especially. So when they showed the cakes on TV, it's like instantly people knew who she was talking about.
Okay.
Marcus, I totally agree. Yeah, Ahsoka was really good. Ahsoka's a great Star Wars character anyway, and yeah, Rosario did a wonderful job bringing her to life. So yeah, total agreement there.
Rosario Dawson. Oh, I know that name.
Clerks.
Play on
Clerks 2, I mean.
Rosario, did she play on Star Trek Voyager as the Klingon, half like crap? No.
Worf's wife?
No, on Voyager, on Star Trek Voyager. She played the I think.
I don't think so.
But did she play she was like the chief engineer, like half Klingon, half, I guess.
I don't think that was her.
Was it? I don't know. Am I thinking Rosario? I know that name, and I've seen her in something. I just can't remember what.
Yeah, she's in all kinds of films and everything.
There was also, which I don't know if it was her or not, but years back, and I'm going back. I was still living in Exeter, so that's at least before 2013. Movie called Unstoppable with Chris Pine and Denzel Washington. Really
Okay.
good movie. That was a real good movie. It was about, and they based it out of Pennsylvania, which I like. Like a couple of shots that they did were actually in Pennsylvania. It was about a train got loose from their train yard, and it was a runaway train, and basically, they had to stop it. And Chris Pine and Denzel Washington, the
Sorry, I had to get a drink.
saved the day basically. But it was a really good movie.
Whew. Really?
I was interested to find out that Christopher Pine is related to, I can't think of the guy's first name, but he was on Chips. He played their watch commander.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, his last name's Pine too, but that's actually Christopher Pine's father.
Thinking like I remember the show. I remember the chief or something, right? Like the main guy, or like the
Yeah,
head.
not their, like I said, I think he was like their watch commander, like their sergeant.
Yeah, if I'm thinking of the right, which I think I am, they do kind of resemble one. Yeah, so that does sound right. That does sound.
Yeah, I was watching like one of those YouTube things, like the clickbaity ones, where it's like, oh, look at these father and son teams in Hollywood, like Gary Busey and his son, Jake Busey.
He looks just like his father.
Yeah, he does.
Does he act like him?
Unfortunately for him.
No, he gets better roles,
Oh,
possibly.
I still say Gary Busey. I liked him in DC Cab. That was one of his best roles going in the 80s.
The best thing he ever did was I'm with Busey. Comedy Central. You can find the episodes on YouTube. They're hilarious.
I'll have
What
to
about
look.
his court show?
Pet Justice?
Yeah, he had a courtroom drama show where he was a judge, Judge Busey, and it was all animal related. It was called Pet Justice, or as he would say it, Pet Justice. I hope I'm doing the impersonation well. Busey's insane.
Oh, he is. Definitely.
Between all the cocaine and the motorcycle accident that he had when he impacted his skull into pavement and then did more cocaine, his brain is just wired incorrectly now.
I'm looking up Rosario Dawson, and yeah, she was the one who played an Unstoppable as like the head of the train yard. So yeah, that was her. Okay, not Star Trek. Yeah, you got it. If you ever can watch Unstoppable, watch it. It was a good.
You went all muffled, Jay.
What was that?
You went all muffled there for a second.
Ah, crap.
You're good now. Before.
I was bouncing on my other monitor looking at stuff, so that's probably what happened.
I'm sorry.
Nah, it's. Let's see. Did I miss anything in the. Men in Black 2 was not a bad movie. I still say the first one was best, but part 2 wasn't bad. Part 3, I can go either way.
It's like most sequels out there. It's always diminishing returns.
Oh yeah, it's.
I think FB is dancing on the ceiling.
Maybe. Oh, what a feeling when you're dancing on the sea. Yeah, okay, 80s a throwback. But so yeah, so on my behind the scenes, my cheesesteak project video's done. That's about. I didn't realize that was gonna. That's over 2 hours long. It's like, damn, I didn't realize that was that long. Um, oh, just chiming in with Mark. I mean, here's the thing, Mark. You could say it on both ends. Like, all right, so the View, they bash the right, or they bash the right. If you listen to Ingram, Hannity, they attack the left. It's back and forth. It's you're never gonna change that. FP's back with us, yay FP. But yeah, I don't know. It's can't believe it's gonna be almost Thanksgiving, then Christmas, and then speaking of November. Where are you?
I'm on the couch in my downstairs room.
Yeah, and I'm hanging up here. There you are.
Oh yeah, I was aware it's November. Yeah.
November, our November awareness shirts are still available on the Shop Zone. Click that QR code, check it out, buy the shirt, support November awareness with this guy right here, NSGW.
Veterans Day, Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
It's and there's that QR code up and left if you want to buy me a chili dog, be my guest. But also for the home cooking line, I'm making kitchens great again, and you can do that by buying the shirt. Make kitchens great again. Support buy the shirt. Actually, my sister liked that cat. She was like, it's cool. She goes, you got to get me one. I'm like, all right.
I want somebody to make Bruce Springsteen sound good again.
Yeah, good luck with that.
If you saw that thing he did with the Kamala campaign, it's like, it's like he was like the special needs senile Bruce Springsteen. Like, it was like, oh my God, he was completely out of time. He was completely out of tune. What happened? Don't get me wrong. I mean, after Born in the USA and all that, like, in the 80s, like, oh man, he's just awful. But like before that, like he was like the the Jersey version of Bob Dylan. He was, he had some really good songs, Atlantic City, State Trooper. Yeah, and then like after Born in the USA, and he had this carefully cultivated image with the red, the red cap in his back pocket of his Levi's, and he just turned into this caricature of himself. And I just totally like lost any respect I had for him after that. And we're talking about an 11-year-old here, so.
Oh yeah, he's old. Mark, so I didn't watch Twisters, but you said it wasn't that great, huh? Now, from what I saw and understood, that actually, I mean, the original movie Twisters back in the 80s or 90s, whenever it came out, it's supposed to be like a continuation, or like, I guess, years later. From what I took it as.
Bill Paxton died.
Yeah, he was. I liked him as an actor.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, he had a massive heart attack. He was about our age when he had a heart attack.
I remember him played in Titanic as, like, he's looking for the diamond, or the necklace. And
I'm sorry, I even back in the 90s, I saw it on Cinemax or something back then, but as a film, well, it's like, number one, here's a spoiler: the boat sinks.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, people back then saying to me, no, you don't, the nuances, what the character stories of before, it's like, the boat sinks.
Yeah. Basically, yeah.
Boat sinks, bunch of rich people, boat sinks.
But it might change the next time you watch it.
And I had to laugh, and people, I think, were gonna, like, want to, like, kick my ass. When Titanic was out in the theater, I went to see it. It was around. It was like either Thanksgiving or Christmas. I forget what holiday it was. It was near. It was near one of them. So it was like me, my sister, her husband, like some of his family members. Like we just went as a group and like let's go see Titanic. So like at the end when Jack dies, you hear like people like literally crying throughout the theater. I'm like, the dude's gonna get up tomorrow and make millions. Like he's fine. Leonardo DiCaprio. I'm like he's fine. He's gonna wake up tomorrow and get a paycheck or however they do it. He's get up and eat breakfast. He's not dead. Yeah, I was waiting to get like stuff thrown at me that night.
Mark Bill Paxton was great in Aliens. But his definitive role had to be in Weird Science as Chet when he had elephants' testicles and was eating catching flies out of the air with his frog tongue.
That was Bill Paxton?
Yes,
I did not know that.
it was one of his early roles. Also, Robert Downey Jr. was an early role for him too. He was one of the guys that the two main characters were trying to impress.
Oh, the bullies are basically like
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, I did realize that. I didn't remember that was Robert Downey. Did not realize it was Bill Paxton though.
Yeah, he played Chet, complete with the flat top and.
That's what threw me. Like, didn't never realize it was him.
Yep. How about a nice greasy pork sandwich served up in a dirty ashtray?
Right. Yeah. But just think of this though. How cool it would be like to work with Kelly LeBrock back in the day. Like,
you mean don't hate me because I'm beautiful?
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful.
The best scene in that movie though was when they were at the bar, and Anthony Michael had to play like he was all like sloshed. He did that scene was like the best.
No.
That was a good scene,
the best scene is when the chick gets sucked up the chimney and her dress comes off and gets sucked up the chimney first. That's the best scene.
Yeah, that's a good scene too. But imagine, you're 18, 19 years old working with Kelly LeBrock. Come on, like, the hormones had to be flying.
Yeah, and I mean, she's like, I don't know, she was like what, like in her mid 20s, maybe like early 30s at that time. I mean,
back then, yeah.
She's gonna want to entertain like a bunch of adolescent males. Essentially adolescent males. I mean, they were
bunch of horny guys, literally
in their late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. Now they did a TV spinoff. I
remember that vaguely.
I forget who played, Kelly LeBrock's character, but she was pretty cute too.
Completely weird that she married Steven Seagal and had kids with him and stuff.
Yeah.
And Steven Seagal ended up, having rumpo with the 15-year-old babysitter, which ended the marriage.
They said
that's Steven Seagal.
Well, I just looked up Weird Science, the series, and it was Vanessa Angel.
Oh, that's right. It's
no clue who that is.
Yeah.
She looks a lot like Kelly.
The guy who played Anthony Michael Hall's character actually looked pretty close to Anthony. They looked like pretty close to Anthony Michael Hall too, like pretty close.
Yeah.
Weird. So what do you think about? What do you think about Weird Science, FP? Did you see that movie?
Seen it like a long time ago.
It's
I think is that the one where they see a robot or something?
They build a woman or they create a woman on their computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Now remember, they had to have the bra on the head.
Oh yeah. Who's with the brown head? Oh, sentimental or something. Then the one scene was cool when the bikers, and I forget who the bald headed guy. You saw him in a lot of movies back then, playing like the bad guy.
The
But
best. Sorry.
no, say when they crashed a party, and Mega grabs. He's like, it's squirking, and then like shoots and like blows the chandelier off the wall, off the ceiling. Like,
The best was the biker gang. The leader was Wes, the guy who played Wes from the Road Warrior.
Michael Berryman.
That was the actual guy.
Did not know that either. Yeah.
No, we go in, we destroy. That guy?
Yeah, him.
See, I loved him in The Hills Have Eyes.
No. I'm not talking about the bald guy. I'm talking about the guy with the mohawk. You know, he was actually like, they got the actual guy from the Road Warrior
To be in this film, yeah. He was the one
to basically reprise
Lord
the.
General?
Huh?
Lord General?
No, not the humongous. No, his toady. The guy with the shoulder pad, the black shoulder pads, and the mohawk, and the.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find him. I don't remember.
The character's name was Wes, W-E-S. I mean, in the Road Warrior, I don't know what he was called in Weird Science.
also
Yeah, it was Vernon Wells.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
He's
Oh,
78 now.
who'd you say it was Vernon Wells?
Yeah.
That's exactly who it is. Yeah.
My buddy, not really, but a couple of years back at a Comic-Con, I got a picture standing with him and Vernon Wells, and I was like, damn. But Gina mentioned The Hills Have Eyes.
I love that movie.
I saw The Hills Have Eyes too. And he was the bald guy was in that one too.
Yeah.
And I never saw the original. But I saw part.
He was in both of them.
And that was a interesting movie too. Basically,
I wanted to say to Mark, Mark's saying that he pays $8 a month for Peacock. Take the time to watch Teacup. Teacup is like 8 episodes, I believe. They're like half-hour episodes. They came out 2 at a time. Teacup is an awesome series that was on
Just
Peacock.
started.
Yeah, they did their first season. It's a really awesome story. If you like things like from MGM or like
Anything to do with aliens.
horror, you'll love it. Really, really good psychological thriller kind of stuff.
well, the only reason why I got Netflix was because of the Trailer Park Boys moved from, on it to Netflix. I was like, well, damn, I got to see what's going to happen now, and that's why I took that Netflix. But after that show was basically over, I'm like, I lost my interest in Netflix.
They have some good things. I just, like I said, when it comes to things that they were doing with, I felt anyway it was like exploitative of children. It's no, I don't want to give my money to that. They're just, I don't know, at corporate level they're kind of disgusting. So
I'm
Another good one, Mark.
I'm thinking about getting the Paramount, subscribing to the Paramount channel, their network, or however you want to call it. I'm debating
Paramount
on that
Plus.
one.
I get that through Prime. You can add things on Prime and watch it all through the one streaming app.
If you like Star Trek stuff, Paramount Plus is great.
That's what I was going to get it. That's what I was thinking about.
Star Trek's getting a little wokey these days. It's not too bad. It's kind of tolerable.
I mean, I'd watch it back for the original series, the Next Generation, like to rewatch those now. Netflix at one point had had this like I like Deep Space Nine. I like that spinoff was good. I thought,
Yeah, Deep Space Nine was pretty good.
and but then Netflix, I guess, stopped because Paramount put it on their own, their own thing, and I was like, well, shit, don't need Netflix anymore. Really, they had the A Team, which I love watching the A Team, but Netflix put it so like you couldn't watch it streaming. You have to like get the DVD, like you can get it on the DVD side. Like, yeah, no, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, Mark, take the time to watch Teacup. Teacup is an awesome series.
Hellraiser was good. I liked Hellraiser.
Didn't know they had a series about it.
I think they did. I grew up watching horror films and series because, that's all my dad wanted to watch. But I liked them.
I like the song, like Lemmy did a song for one of the movies. Hellraiser, that thing.
Hellraiser was the one about the box, right? Like
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Pinhead.
Oh yeah, Pinhead. Forgot about him.
My brother goes to a lot of the horror cons, and he meets all these people.
And pays money to have them sign things for him.
Including on his tattoos, and then he'll go out and get that tattooed on.
Oh damn. It's again my buddy goes to the Comic Cons and stuff. I actually met I forget what scene or what episode it was, but one of the guys who played Jason Voorhees, I can't remember what episode or which one it was, but met one of the Jason Voorhees characters.
I think my brother met all of them.
Yeah, he did.
He actually got a machete and had them sign it.
Nice.
All of the different guys who played him.
There's a serious poker face.
And
No.
that is Brandon. That's who he is.
No, I don't have Peacock, so yeah, I know that's a no for me.
Poker face. I'm trying to think what that is.
I know the song Poker Face. I remember that song. My poker
Well,
face, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's
in her case, it's Butterface, but
Butters from South Park.
Smart ass.
Would you say Butterface or Summer Teeth?
I'm sorry, but Lady Gaga is definitely a Butterface.
Oh,
I will say though, like when she played in the movie A Star Is Born,
I didn't watch that either.
Wasn't that
she
Bette
actually,
Midler?
like out of like all her Lady Gaga character makeup, she actually is not a bad looking girl. I mean,
she
Yeah,
looks
as
like
long
a
as you don't have all that makeup on.
she
She's a
could sing.
Butterface.
I mean,
she
she
looks like
could sing. I think I was more surprised that what's his name?
Tom Selleck?
No, the one who played in Stars Born with her. He played in The Hangover.
Chris Christopherson?
No, that was the second. That was the second one. That was
Lady
actually
Gaga is that old?
No. Lady Gaga was with Chris Christopherson was with Barbara Streisand when they redid A Star Is Born.
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. I don't like Cooper could actually sing. Like that was him actually singing during that movie. I was like, damn, sing.
See, I'd probably watch that movie just for Sam Elliott.
He's an oldie, man. He's getting up there.
Oh, yeah.
He's been old for 50 years.
Yeah, that's true. Did he play on
Is Fargo still on TV?
Is what still on TV?
Fargo. I see Mark said he also loved Fargo. Wasn't that back in the early 90s?
Unless it's
The movie.
Mark, are you talking about like on Peacock or something like that?
Excuse me.
Oh, it started in 2014.
That car alarm was just a little bit too sensitive, I think.
Is that outside?
I could hear it. I could hear it here in the background.
And that's like 2 doors down from our house. And it's still going off, and they walked away from it.
That's 3 doors down.
Oh, 3 doors down. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, you know, if I go crazy, will you still call me Superman?
Maybe.
Only if you have a pocket full of kryptonite.
Now that's the spin doctors, and it's not even fair.
No, it's Matchbox 20 that's saying that song.
I'm just being a smartass now.
No, the pocket full of kryptonite. That was the spin doctors. 3 doors down, saying the other the kryptonite.
Go crazy, will you still call me Superman?
If I go crazy, then will you still
Okay,
call
I'm-
me Superman? If I'm alive, then will you be there holding my hand? I'm gonna stop right now before we get a content strike. Kryptonite.
It's
Jay's just like leaning back, like, okay, just let him go.
no. I said the last few days, like I have been so tired, and I have actually done absolutely nothing, and well, except get up at like 4:30 in the morning, and but like today, I got up. I was up at 4:30 again. Grabbed food. Like by 9 o'clock, 10, I fell back to bed. I fell asleep. Woke up at 1:30. Took a ride over to my sister's house. Came back about an hour later, and literally crashed from that point till about 8 o'clock, and I could still go back to bed. Like I don't know what the hell. Like I've been making sure I'm taking my meds and my sugars are good and stuff like that. But it's just I just been like so tired.
I slept for about 12 or 14 hours today. I had 2 drinks last night.
I wish I could
And
do
it just
that.
completely knocked me for a loop. Well, I take gabapentin, and gabapentin's nothing to mess with.
I just take my
it's,
normal. I went to go pick up my
sorry?
meds today, and needless to say, I didn't get them out. I'm going to get them on Monday. But I have my amlodipine, which is my blood pressure pill, and my bupropion, which is my
take that.
depression pill. And I'm like, how much? What I owe you? $34. I'm like, for what? Like I've never been that high before. Oh well, bupropion, they gave you a 90-day supply. Can you only give me a 30-day supply and pay cheaper? Yeah, so.
Well, dude, you want to get into that? Sildenafil, which is like the generic version of Viagra, is like $1 a pill.
It's like so for 90 pills, you're charging me like $25-$26, which I mean, really, I guess isn't too bad when you think about it. But I was like, damn, I don't have $34 on me. I'll be back Monday. So it's.
Here's some advice, guys. If you're gonna take Viagra, take it on an empty stomach. You'll thank me.
I'm assuming on a full stomach it doesn't work as good, or
It has problems getting into your bloodstream as quick enough.
oh yeah, 'cause you got all that food. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, you get to our age, Viagra can be a lot of fun.
One thing I never took yet ever is Viagra. Never.
I don't know. I just asked my doctor for the hell of it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Here you go."
And did insurance cover it, or did you pay out of pocket?
The insurance covered it, but like I said, it was actually it's like $10. It's like, ooh, I open up the thing, it's like 10 pills, and it's like, oh my god, you got to be $1 a pill, $1 for every erection. What is that?
It's because I know, like when I worked for MMAI out in Illinois, for Medicaid would not cover Viagra unless it was used other than ED. Like if it was for ED, Medicaid would not cover it. And I remember this guy would call every so often. Luckily, unfortunately, I would get him all the time. Trying to get my medication. And even though we know it's not going to be covered, like we have to go through the steps to try and get it covered, like every time he calls. But I really need it.
Well, describe need.
It's not going to kill you if you can't get it up for the rest of your life. It's just be a big pain in the ass. Not going to kill you. But yeah, medication.
It'd be a pain in the ass for some, I think.
Well, it might kill you, depending on the woman.
True. But it's like
Just saying.
the last couple of years, that's one of my health issues now too. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. Like, so I'm looking like I thought about it, but I'm like, I'm looking at seeing the prices. I'm like, yeah, no, yeah, no.
Well, I mean, I'll take like the gas station stuff. The gas station stuff is great, by the way. In fact, in some cases, it works better than prescription Viagra.
Stuff. The gas station.
And it's like, I'm not necessarily looking for something to help me with ED. It's just really fun to have a hard-on that lasts for like hours. I mean, that's especially when you get to like you get in your 50s and it's like, oh man, I haven't had one like this since I was like 13.
I forget what that's fun. Like. I forget. It's like 1 minute I was fine. It's like if someone like flipped the switch, the next minute I was like, what the hell? And like it's like, damn. And it's probably for a good 3 years. So I'm like, you know what? At that point, so even like talking to Jeff, she's like, do you ever think about doing this? I'm like, yeah, I should maybe think about it.
Sure, you thought about it.
Not really. I'm not. yeah, not really. No, because it's like, I mean, when we were growing up, teenager, you're thinking, oh, we're gonna, hook up with the women. And honestly, now that I'm like 52, I'm like, I can care less. It whatever that part in your head gets you stimulated. Yeah, it doesn't work. I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. Well, that whole like emotion side of like whatever part of your brain works, with me, it just like stopped working. Like there's things like you hear that would actually kind of make you sad. I'd be like, oh, shit happens. And they're like, oh, you're mean. I'm like, not trying to be. It's just, I mean,
it happens.
It happens. Like, and someone passes away. I'm sorry to hear, so-and-so passed away. But I'm like thinking, okay, I'm not going to cry over it because it just doesn't work. And that whole aspect of the whole emotional spectrum, like that part of my brain just does not work anymore.
I think when you go through the death of your parents, because that's as a human being, I think like the worst death you could possibly deal with is the death of your parents.
And both of mine are gone, so that's.
Yeah, exactly. Mine too. I lost my father when I was 20, and I lost my mother when I was well into my 40s. Or no, not well into. I was maybe like 42, I think. But the point is, like, once you go through that, like people would ask me, like I'd always like whenever I saw somebody like, oh, my mom died, this and that. It's like when people would ask me, how did you deal with it? I would say it's the hardest thing you'll ever go through in your whole life.
Oh yeah,
but it's not as bad as you think it is.
No, now that I've been through it, yeah, it's like when my dad died. Like we graduated, like I graduated. It was supposed to graduate.
You graduated, I did.
Graduated. It was it was in June of 1990. So I just turned 18, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna, do this and this and this, and I want to do this and all that other crap you have in your head when you're 18. And in December 20th, he dies, and that's like just like a big kick in the ass. And then we buried him. I guess my mom did it. I was wondering why she did it this way, and I think just to get it over with and just get through it. We had his funeral on Christmas Eve morning, so we buried him literally Christmas Eve morning, and that was that was the hardest to go through ever. Like, Christmas morning, everybody else is waking up, they're opening a present, and like me and my sister, my older sister was actually she was married on her own. So it was me and my older sister and my mom, like sitting there, like, looking at each other going, this isn't right, and then in 2017, in the beginning of that was when my mom passed away. And it's like, you think to yourself, at least I thought to myself, like, okay, like both parents are gone. This is weird, like, but back when I was 18, if one other person said, oh, everything's going to be okay, I was probably going to punch them. Like, no, it's not going to be okay. So when someone
I was going to say, if you ask me, and like from my experience, what I always tell people when that happens in their life, and we're at our age, that's more and more people.
Yeah.
I always tell them the pain absolutely never goes away. You just get used to it.
Well, yeah, and like I remember one person said to me, "You didn't tell me it was going to be okay." I said, "Well, I've been through it twice. It's not going to be okay." But I always tell people, I explain it this way: as time goes on, you learn how to cope with that loss better as each day goes on. And I'm like, are you still going to have your bad days? Of course you are. But as time goes on, you kind of learn how to cope with it. And you're, even though that person's life came to an end, your life still has to go forward. I mean, that's how I find that's how I explain it to them.
Well, your parents brought you into this world to continue their legacy, so
yeah.
I mean, you're not going to serve anything by spending the rest of your life in grief.
Right.
Spending the rest of your life thinking about things you can't change anyway.
And when you're going through it, you don't think like that. But once time goes on, you're like, well, wait a minute. You start to think on both. You see both sides of the spectrum, so to speak.
Well, for both my parents, and being at a young age as I was at 20 when I lost my father, I was there with his sister and his mother, my grandmother. I was with them the entire way, from choosing the coffin to all of that. I was definitely part of, like, the funeral and getting it set up, and it's like that's always been me when it comes to death. Like when my mother died, I was too busy to grieve. I had too many things to worry about. I had to, figure out her obituary. I had to figure out, where the money was going to come from, because being a government employee, here's something like, people out there, you guys think that government employees, have cushy whatever. Our insurance, life insurance, is a nightmare to collect on. So much so that the funeral director, most funeral directors, you get it in your head like, oh, well, they just get the money when the insurance check comes in. As soon as the funeral director found out that it was a check for a federal employee, ex-federal employee, retired federal employee, she's like, I want my money up front. Okay, so I got to come up with over $8,000, right on the spot, right up front.
Yeah, and like,
I was lucky. My ex-mother-in-law was very understanding. She's a good person, and she loaned me the money. She gave me essentially a bridge loan until the insurance. I literally paid her back the day I got the insurance check.
Nowadays, they don't. A lot of people don't even have the funeral, like the viewing part. They just go right to they have something at the church. It's getting too expensive.
I had it for the longest time, and you know what? I'll probably stick by it. So now we're gonna document it. If anybody's listening, I consider this my living will, and that's legally binding, by the way. When I die, which will be eventually, I want my ashes. I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes dumped down the sewer down in the corner on Hollenbach.
Down the corner where?
Hollenbach.
Hollenbach. It's that way. The street, Hollenbach Avenue. Right on the corner, there's grading. There's a sewage drain there. I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes dumped down that sewer. And that has nothing like, Mike has low self-esteem. No, the body's stupid. The body's nothing. The body is the body. When I'm done with it, I don't need it anymore. You don't have to spend all this ridiculous amount of money to preserve it. I was raised Catholic, but I don't need to be embalmed and preserved for Resurrection Day. When Jesus comes here in his magic spaceship to resurrect everybody and judge them. If he's that much of a god, then he can pull my ashes out of that sewer and reconstitute me. Thank you, baby Jesus.
Actually,
so for those of you who tune in to see what Mike will say next, Mike said that.
Like me and my sisters had to talk, like, if when my time's to go, like, where am I going and what am I doing? My parents we have one more spot open up at St. Mary's in Plymouth, so that's probably where I'm going. Mark had a single friend who had different women all the time. Well, that'd be cool. No. He was hooked on the blue pill.
Oh, Mark, you cut it off.
Yeah, I'm going to say, wait a minute, what happened? So I had and then that's where it ended.
You see, it's not necessarily that you need it. It's just a lot of fun. It really is.
I just forget what it's like. Like, shit, it's been so long. I forget.
Well, like I said, guys, take it from me. Take my advice. Empty stomach. When you're doing the blue pill, you want to do it on an empty stomach. It will hit your blood that much fast. It will cause a headache, but that's okay. Headaches are okay. We're not women.
I'm waiting for Gina to throw something at you.
We could plow through a headache if it means having an erection like you had when you were 12.
I'm trying to be nice here.
Oh, okay.
And I don't have anything really heavy to throw at him.
Oh. I'm waiting for everybody to go shit, and all of a sudden you see a mic straight poof.
What
was that, FP?
I'm off on one of my tangents, FP. It's cool.
Yeah, hey, we're here.
I have no use for Viagra. I already got 5 kids. I don't need no more.
Well, there you go. I don't have any children.
Yeah, me neither.
Hey, my daughter came over to our house for the first time tonight.
And how did that go?
Good. I gave her one of the cats. She wanted a cat. She had put in a thing for rescue.
Right.
They were going to charge her $100 to adopt a cat.
Damn.
I said, I got one you can have for nothing. Buy me pizza.
She did, actually.
Yep, she bought me pizza. She got me a party pack.
Ooh. Pizza Hut party pack.
Oh.
Party. Pizza party.
Yeah.
Pizza?
This is what I got.
I gotta tell you, the worst pizza I've ever had has to be Papa John's.
I didn't mind them.
They had a spot over in Pittston. Well, actually, when they first came over, I was still living in East End. They had a spot over near Denny's, where Liberty Pizza is now. It used to be Papa
Yeah.
John's.
Yeah, I
And,
had their pizza there before. It was pretty good.
Like, I thought Papa John's was terrible. And then when I moved to West Pittston, or when I actually moved to Exeter, by that time, I guess they tried to compete with, like, they were the spot right across the bridge from West Pittston to Pittston, like right across the light up bridge. Well, the bridge that's closed now, and they tried to compete with places that have been there, 40 years that haven't, have a following, or established. And here comes Papa John's trying to like cut in on the pizza. It's like they end up going on
Cut in on a pizza. I like that.
If
Were
anybody
they
like
cut
Papa
above?
John's, apparently not, because they went.
I shifted.
So if anybody out there has Papa John's wants to chime in on Papa John's, let's hear it. Do you like it or not? Now they say since Shaq took over, it's been a lot better. Shaq bought it out.
Like as in Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Really?
He bought into it. I don't think, but like he bought it and took over. I don't know if that John guy still owns it or not, but Shaquille's like running it. He bought into it. He's running it. He's doing all the shit. And from what I heard, it has been better. But again, there's no longer any around here to try that.
Elon Musk needs to buy it. They make pizza great again.
Oh, which reminds me. Oh, I think I did. I put that up. I can't remember. If not, Little Caesars went to crap too. Let me tell you.
Pizza.
Make kitchens great again, guys, by buying the shirt. Can't remember if I put that up or not. So
I think you did earlier.
Did I? I can't remember.
No, that was the November awareness.
No, this
Yeah, I
one's
know I did. So yeah, make kitchens great again by buying my shirt. There you go.
I've been watching a show on Z Nation. It's a zombie show. And one of them, the guy's going around saying, let's make America alive again. Because there was all zombies.
Oh, my sister showed me a picture where it says, and it said, ban pre-shredded cheese. Let's make America great, like GRATE again.
Cool.
So instead of buying the pre-packet, like do it yourself, I thought that was pretty fun.
Yeah, but grating cheese is hard. It's hard
Yeah,
to
I
choose.
know. I remember
It takes
back,
effort, bloody knuckles. You get blood all over your cheese.
Marcus,
True.
back in the day. I don't know if you remember this, Marcus, or if you were out. I don't know how old you are. I forget. Sorry. But back when Little Caesars came out around the area here, it was the pizza. You got actually two pies. Remember that when you actually got two pizza pies?
Pizza.
Now they only give you one. Like cheapos.
Pizza, nothing.
You used to get your breadsticks and just the pizza.
I don't know. Sam Hill's is still my favorite.
I gotta. What for pizza?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I gotta check that place out because you keep bringing, I keep forgetting about it. Where's that place at?
George Ave.
Right, basically like right across the street from Shields.
Oh, okay. Oh, over there. I got you.
Yeah, and Parsons.
My sister.
John Marconi's country, if John's still with us. His section of the city.
Oh, okay. Now my oldest sister, every Friday they get Florios, What is it? I'm gonna have to try Florio's. But definitely want to try that Sam Hill. I know you mentioned it a few times now.
Yeah, he's a master.
Oh, hey, TA's back in the house. TA, we missed you last week.
Oh, twerking apricot. Hello.
Uh-oh.
Well, I'm not upstairs where Ember is, but I have his brother with me.
TA is in the house. Back in the house.
That's our Opie. That's Ember's brother. I snatched those two out of the garden 2 years ago when they were babies. Right at the same time, too. I just scooped them right up.
And plop.
Yeah, Ember is a gorgeous cat. I'll give you that. But his brother is my buddy.
Yeah, last week TA we're sitting there going, wait a minute, we didn't hear from TA this week. We're like, yeah, she's not here. Where'd she go?
Hope you weren't crying over the election.
I think I had a couple glasses of wine once over the election. I think I tried to make myself sleep. I had some wine. In fact, tonight after the show, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a glass of wine. Maybe that'll knock me the hell out.
Good luck
Probably
with that.
not, but
I got Yukon Jack in the freezer. We're good.
I got my alcohol upstairs.
Oh boy.
wait, watch my.
Butthurtedness.
Oh, butthurt. I'm like trying to think. Wait a minute. What am I? Okay, yeah. Watch my butt hurt in this.
You didn't shave your head or anything, did you?
Did you do the Sinead O'Connor and buzz it all off? Like, I got to get mine done soon. It's starting to get a little too long.
When you shave your head, just don't go 4B on us.
Yeah, you better be careful over there.
Yeah.
I was crying over all of the ridiculous statements that everybody was putting out, that they're all going to lose their rights and everything.
I was crying because I think I didn't have any. I think I was hungry or some shit. I don't know.
I'm always hungry.
Yeah, me
It
too.
snows.
Yeah. I put a lot of hard work into my stomach.
It took almost 50 years to get this body.
52 right here, baby.
Twerking apricot. Here's showbiz, or I'm sorry, politics is show business for ugly people. So that's how I feel about that.
I remember someone asked me one time about losing weight. Oh, it was the doctor. The doctor goes, well, do you think about ever losing weight? I'm like, it took me a long time to get this physique. You want me to just throw it away all of a sudden?
I thought about losing it, but it keeps following me.
Yeah. Every time I try and eat a salad, it turns into a burger. That's my problem.
My weight fluctuates really bad to the point where I have to keep like 2 different sets of clothes. Right now I'm on the high side. I was years ago, like about 2017, I think, 2018. I was about 400 pounds. I lost 110. I was like 290. And then it's like a steady yo-yo. Like I go up to like 350. I'll go back down to about 315. Like it's just I always bounce up but I've been like that my whole life. It just depends on what I'm eating and so yeah, and plus now getting older, having to ambulate with a cane a lot of times. I'm not walking as much as I would ordinarily because the back bothers me.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I am not going to use Ozempic to lose weight. Thank you.
Oh, speaking of,
I'll leave that. There are just too many other side effects to that drug that that scared the living shit out of me. I don't want to go there.
well, here's what happened. The GF was put on Ozempic, not to lose weight, but to help control her diet because she's type 2 also. And the GF, she doesn't really eat the way it is. Like person just does not get hungry. She'll eat twice a day, or if she gets hungry, but she does not get she eats to live where I live to eat. That's where we're on the whole different sides of the spectrum. But they put her on Ozempic, and she had such massive side effects, like to the point she thought she was going to get put back in a hospital, but it's starting to work out of her system, like after 2-3 weeks. It was the Ozempic was causing her, like, would she go to eat a cracker and want to puke? Like,
I've heard that with that.
yeah, so she thought, okay, maybe I have to get used to the Ozempic, like you have to get used to it. But she called her doctor. She's like, this, and this is happening. He's like, oh no, stop it right now.
That's one of the bad side effects.
And she literally got sick both ends, for days. They almost put her in the hospital because she was on what are the side effects?
Nausea.
Throwing up. She got the I mean, excuse my French, she got the shits. But she was out, made her nauseous. Not that she barely eats the way it is, and it just made her if she ate actually something within 4 days, that's other than crackers or Jello, that was saying that's something big. It just wiped her appetite right out to a point where she didn't even want to eat. And if she tried to eat something, she'd get sick and nauseous and throw it up.
Diarrhea is like a storm raging inside.
Of exploding, I think death is a side effect of exploding.
I'd rather puke than get diarrhea. I'd rather puke my guts up straight than get diarrhea. No.
Joey T, to answer your question, how I lost weight. The initial time that I did, you're not going to like the answer. I'll tell you that right now. In about a year, I lost 110 pounds. The way I did it, I did ketosis, when you get your body into a mode where, it's just burning fat off to live. The way that I got it, the way that I did it, and I figured it out on my own, it took a few weeks, and then people said, oh, you're doing keto. It's like, what's that? To me, keto is ketoacidosis, which is diabetic shock, which I'd lived through before. What I did to lose weight, I went totally vegetarian. For the first 4 weeks of my diet, I ate nothing but steamed vegetables every day. Then I started incorporating, the plant-based meat, the fake meat. And I was eating things I would take fake hamburger patties and turn them into Salisbury steaks. I got pretty creative with it. I'll tell you what, fake meat tacos are pretty good.
As long as you get the good stuff.
As long as you get the good stuff. I recommend Gardein. Gardein makes really good hamburger crumbles. And basically that's how I lost weight, and that's how I maintained weight loss at the time. But I mean, gradually old habits start creeping back at you. For me right now, we're having financial issues. So I'm back to eating cheap food. And cheap food means, more rice and more noodles, Lipton noodles or I think it's more now. I don't know. But I mean, the noodles and rice thing you get for like $1 a pack spikes my blood sugar all over the place, but it's cheap.
Yeah, I'm there now. Like every year at this time. Now I work for the same company since 2017. But what happened was up until the first of this year, well, October of last year, I was with a client called MMAI, which was based on like Illinois Medicaid.
Oh, I thought it was like mixed martial arts.
Nah, I wish. Um, it was actually Medicare Medicaid Initiative. That's what it standed for. And around this time, we go into you're aware of the annual enrollment period for Medicare. And
Oh, I'm very aware of it.
yeah,
I'm dealing with it right now.
I know. And what happened is during when I worked for Medicaid, or when our client was Medicaid, I should say, we would have overtime out the ying. Like we'd allowed to get overtime. I'd work 8 to like 7, or well, at that point it was like 9. The phone's open at 9, like 9 to 6, 9 to 7. I'd work weekends. I was clearing some damn good paychecks. Well, working where the client who we're with now it's still Blue Cross, but it's called the Blue Cross Blue Shield Association, aka under the umbrella of Blue Cross. There's no overtime. Like they're not open on weekends. There's nothing, and so it's like all that overtime I got last year, I don't have this year. And yeah, the financial side of it, I'm like, crap. Like, I mean, it's I'm not proud of it, but like my phone, you have to pick and choose what you're going to pay first. Like, what's more important? Well, obviously, your rent or your mortgage, I put first. Then second, water bill, shit like that. And
You
then
gotta make sure
third,
you have a roof over your head first of all.
yeah, that's my renter, your renter mortgage. I have to keep my internet up because I can't go like a couple years back, if before they sent everybody to work remote, if something happened, you just go into work, you go into the office, work from the office, no biggie. Well, there is no office anymore. So I have to keep, and with the programs that Cognizant uses, you need a cable modem. Like you need a high speed or you're not going to connect. You're going to have issues left and right. So I have to keep my internet going. So basically everything else is like, and you got to buy food. But like after that, everything else is like, you paid if you can, if you can't. Oh, well, I'm in that spot now where my phone bill, I just couldn't pay it. So my phone's off, which sucks because like, you don't realize how much you use your phone until you don't have it. And now in the house, I connect to the Wi-Fi, so I have, I could go downstairs and do whatever I want, but like, can't call nobody. I was gonna call and see how much my pills were. I'm like, oh wait, I can't. I don't have phone. It's like you don't realize everything until it's gone. And my sister's like, well, when are you gonna pay? When are you gonna get your phone back? And I'm like, I don't know, because in 2 weeks when I paid again, I have to pay Xfinity, keep my internet going. So it's like, what do you do? Like you try and rob Peter to pay Paul, but Peter's broke, just as broke. That's why I put up that QR code and left. If someone wants to send me a chili dog, hey, that's awesome. Yeah, being broke sucks. Literally. That's another reason
It's
why
what it is. It's part of life. I'm just.
Oh, it is. But it sucks. It sucks. Like this week, I wanted to try. I see on YouTube a lot of people are checking out it's been like the chicken Big Mac. I want to give it a shot and try it. Can't do it, and that's all right. Can't do it. Last week I was able to try that Krabby Patty burger from Wendy's, which was pretty good. But like all this week, I've been I've been eating home. I've been cooking my own stuff. Hence, a lot of the cooking shows that Mark was talking about. But this past Friday, or no, yeah, yesterday. See, my days are all screwed up too. Um, yeah. So my older sister, uh, her mother-in-law showed her how to make the family tomato sauce. So she had some. She gave me some. She gave me some to try. So that was last night's dinner. I just had a box of noodles. You know, there we go, and it was really good. Like they rolled 100 meatballs for this sauce, and their sausage came from Gary's, but it was still good. And that was my dinner from last night. I like to go get a pizza or something or wings, but it was the home cooked, pre-made sauce or homemade sauce from my sister's house. That's okay.
I'm going to be making my homemade pierogies tomorrow.
Oh, there's Pepper. Pepper saying hi. Homemade pierogies kick ass. Halushki
Yep.
kick ass. I love halushki.
I make my halushki with ham.
Interesting. I'd like that. Tell you the truth, I would like that.
That's how my mom always made it.
So you still do like the onions and
Oh, yeah. I do the cabbage, the onion, noodles, butter, and add ham.
you just throw in ham. That sounds pretty good.
That is a trippy ass screensaver.
Yeah, it is.
I want to try the chicken Big Mac before it disappears.
Let's try it.
I mean, said around this time I'm used to banging out so much overtime I didn't care. Now, yeah, no. Like I go to Gary's, and Gary's has been like I can get like 2 to 3 pounds of hamburger 80/20 for like under $8. Gary's is pretty good with that. If I want to get canned foods, like again, I've been like Mike, you said, like you're buying canned foods, it's cheap. Dollar Tree, $1.25. So I'll get like cans of ravioli, beefaroni, things like that. $1.25 a piece.
They're playing chase and ambush.
I see.
It's like Group Cat's favorite game, chase and ambush.
So that was my event.
And somebody just had a healthy dump before they started.
Yeah.
To answer Joey's question, in the wintertime, like once we start actually where it starts actually getting cold, I don't do slow cookers, but I'll do like crock pot stuff. Well, I guess that is kind of still like slow cooked meals. I'll do crock pot stuff.
I do fast cooker meals.
Yeah, basically. Like, there's one thing I'll do overnight I call it piggy soup. Because I can't stand rolling piggy, so I'll just shred everything, throw it in the crock pot, and here you go.
Great. Now I'm hungry for piggies. Last night I got hungry. It just like popped in my head at 3:00 in the morning. I want a pizza burger. But I don't have any of the stuff to make it.
I got
place to get a pizza burgers down the shore, Jersey.
I went to when I was at Gary's a couple weeks ago. Not recent, I didn't get it. Now, back in the day, and Jancy, if he's still watching, he'll remember this. They had these things called pizza snacks. They were discontinued right after. So I don't think you saw them, Gene. I don't think it was there when you were there. But they looked like little egg rolls, but they were pizza. Well, I'm shifting through Garrity's about 2 weeks ago, and I found they call it pizza logs. So it's basically like a pepperoni pizza in a like big, looks like a big egg roll, about yay big. But they actually tasted like the stuff that Burger King had back years ago. Unfortunately, it's like, and you only get like 10 or 12 or something like that. But they want like $15. So I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing it this week. But yeah, there's times I'll go downstairs, throw shit in the air fryer, and there you go.
Yep.
I almost smell the house of something horrible.
Smart ass.
And then they come out like hockey pucks or something.
Did you see that?
I
saw
saw
it.
that.
Xavier just
saw that too.
scared Opie.
And Opie just ran into her computer.
Actually, he jumped into it.
Yeah, I saw something like
Okay.
poof. I'm like, okay, it's a cat.
Yep.
Yeah, there are 3 of them in the room right now. So there were 4.
But Ginger was in a carrier. Because my daughter is giving her a good home.
That's good.
Yep, one less cat to worry about for now.
Until you find another.
Yeah,
Or until another finds us. That's usually how it
find
works.
us. They usually do find us.
I think there's
And
word on
Marcus, I love white rice also. I did a stir fry. Last week, was it?
I've never seen a picture. I think you put a picture up of that.
Yeah, that was the beef one. The next day I did it with chicken.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like doing stir fry. Now I've actually been hooked. I've been starting to get like brown rice for a change.
I can mix them. I mean, they say brown rice is better for you.
That's what
But
I've heard. I
I
get
don't
tired
know.
of
I don't know
white
how that really is.
White rice has more starch in it.
Like, I'm normally, when I go get Chinese, I'll get like pork fried rice, but you get tired of it. So I'm like, oh, let's try brown rice. That was actually really good.
I like fried dumplings. And
Yeah,
wonton
so
with the ginger sauce.
I like food.
And hot sauce. I put hot sauce on everything.
Yeah, he does.
I used to eat bacon with hot sauce.
damn.
Sorry, I'm doing this and I'm playing Words with Friends.
So much more fun than Words with Enemies.
Joey, I'll have to go over to the Wyoming
Okay.
store and check it out. I usually just go to West Pittston because it's just a lot closer. You'll have to check the Wyoming store and see about that.
Oh.
Oh, excuse me, guys. Holy crap. I said literally, like, I have no idea why I'm this tired. And I slept before we started the show, I slept for like 4 hours. Well, 3.
I slept a lot today.
Yeah, so did I. I'm like, even though I was up early, I slept for about an hour before I went over to my sister's house, came home, slept for at least a good 3. I got home about 4:30. Well, about 4:30. So about 3.5 hours. My alarm went off at 8. Yeah, and I could literally go back to bed.
I get up around 7, get out of bed around 9.
Jamming
I
some
don't
Guns
worry
N'
about nothing, no,
Roses.
because worry's a waste of my time. I was 16 years old when that song was brand new.
Yeah, so I guess I was too.
Calvin dancing with Mr. Brownstone.
My youngest brother had the album. And if that came out when you were 16,
It was 88, 87 or 88. It came out.
okay, so
So
I was
15,
about
16.
13. My youngest brother is 4 years younger than me.
Okay, it's a
He was
great
like
album. I mean,
9.
every song on there it's like there was no filler. Every song on Appetite for Destruction was an amazing song. I mean, not just like crafting a song is an art in itself, and the fact that they came up with an entire album of really just
Good
phenomenal
stuff.
songs, not just phenomenal musics, phenomenal. Not just I said musics, not just phenomenal music, phenomenal songwriting. That's why that album is so classic. And when members started departing, like Izzy Stradlin and Steven Adler, and it's like they lost the magic.
For a while, and I forget his name, but the lead from AC/DC.
Brian Johnson or Bon Scott?
I have no idea. The one who
The
sang
living
Back
one or the
in
dead
Black.
one?
Well, he was
Oh,
live.
that would be Brian Johnson.
They whatever happened with them, they asked Axl Rose to complete their tour to be like their lead, and I mean you could Axl Rose is singing back for Appetite Destruction. It's like, is he a good singer? Is he not? People like this stuff, but like when he was doubling for AC/DC, he just sounded like shit. Like he was bad.
Not only that, I mean, he's like up on stage with a broken leg, sitting in that throne thing.
Like,
and Angus is still duck walking, and it's like, come on, man. Angus is like old enough to almost be like my grandfather or something. And the fact that he's still out there with a schoolboy uniform at like 80 or whatever he is.
yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I love Angus Young. Angus Young is probably one of my most favorite guitar players of all time. Nobody can phrase like Angus Young. But it's like you gotta come to a point like the Rolling Stones, It's like, come on, shave and go. Like Keith Richards would actually say, shave and go home. You're too old.
Well, look at
If my grandfather were still alive, I wouldn't want to see him on a stage.
Right. It's like even like look at Kiss. They've been playing for how many years?
They hung it up though.
Did they finally hang it up? Because I know for like the
their last tour was the last tour.
Because I remember saying, "Oh, it's the last tour," and then they go for another like year. Oh, it's the last tour. They go for another year. So they
really did it this time. They sold, and to not go back on it, they sold all the rights to their music. They sold all the rights to the makeup designs. And there's a hologram company now that's going to redo a Kiss show. Like you're gonna be like go to like somewhere like the Kirby Center to see Kiss, and it's going to be the holograms, and it's going to be like them in their prime, a perfect version of Kiss.
But it's like even like they said like for the last like 2 years they said like Paul Stanley vowed he's never writing a new song again. Like he was done.
Who's that writing?
Paul Stanley.
Oh. No, they're still doing their own thing. Like Gene's had his own solo band for years.
I saw that on YouTube, the Gene Simmons band it's called.
Yeah.
And what are they doing?
Paul's had a touring band forever.
Ace is still doing his thing.
Oh yeah, I love Ace. Ace really is not only one of my most favorite guitar players of all time, right up there with Angus, but he's also one of my most favorite human beings of all time. I just think Ace. Ace just has the right attitude about being a rock star. You know, he doesn't take any of it seriously. Ace is just a cool person. He's just somebody I'd love to sit and, you know, drink a beer with.
Oh yeah. It's but like I watched Gene Simmons band like play like on YouTube. But what is he doing? All his old shit. Like just he keeps doing his old shit. Which is fine because I like Gene Simmons' songs, you know, but it's like something like sometimes you just gotta say, all right, we're done. Like there was a documentary on Kiss, and like literally like after Ace and Peter left, when it was like Eric Carr, Eric Singer, Bruce Kulick, whoever this new guy was who took over the Ace character, like they didn't
Tommy Thayer.
Yeah, they didn't make dick. Like they were getting paid as like an employee of Kiss Incorporated.
Yeah.
They got shafted.
I will say this: when it comes to studio musicians and it comes to you know, like touring musicians and everything, the Kiss organization paid really well. They took care of their guys. They took care of Eric Carr. They took care of, you know, you could argue that. I mean, there's some things about, you know, when he was dealing with cancer and stuff. But as far as like everything, like as far as like paying their guys, like paying guys like Eric Carr, Tommy Thayer, they paid comparably. They paid really well. Like if you look at Ozzy's band, Ozzy's band was a shambles. Originally, it was supposed to be a whole new band. They were going to call it the Blizzard of Oz. That's what those guys were sold. And that got changed. It's, well, this is Ozzy's solo act, and you guys are employees. Randy Rhoads, for as talented as the man was, made about $125 a week.
Which is shit.
Well, this is back in like 79, 80.
Okay, so maybe that was considered good money back then.
It was considered okay. He got like per diem, which is like his meals, you know, stuff like that. So his meals were paid for while he was on the road. But I mean, when he was on the road, he was making $125 a week. The Osbournes are Sharon, you know. I mean, but the Osbournes are notorious for being horrible. Like how they treat their people. Like Jakey Lee got no publishing rights for Bark at the Moon. And he had threatened to quit the band to get publishing rights on Ultimate Sin.
Say hi.
And then they fired him anyway.
It's
But he was making, I think, like something like $150 a week. He gets, like, Ultimate Sin doesn't really pay very much in royalties for him. Look at Bob Daisley. Bob Daisley wrote all the lyrics for every album from Blizzard of Oz up to, I think up to even some of the more recent stuff. I don't know why he doesn't learn. Like, Ozzy never credits him. He was the chief lyricist in the band for ever. And like, if you look at Bark at the Moon, you got to understand that in music, publishing is everything. It's where you get your money.
That's what I heard.
Yeah,
Watching videos.
It's a combination of melody, lyrics, and the rest is just considered fluff. That doesn't really pay. Like, it's more or less like, well, you know, if you wrote a guitar riff, you're not necessarily you didn't write the vocal melody, so you're not necessarily gonna get publishing rights to it for a guitar riff. But I mean, if you look at Bark at the Moon, it says on there, all words and music by Ozzy Osbourne, which couldn't be further from the truth. Ozzy doesn't know how to write music. The only instrument he knows how to play is harmonica, and he plays it pretty badly.
Well, wasn't like Sharon the one that actually like invested and took the money, like he made and like made their money? Like it was like her that actually did everything.
Oh yeah, she's the brains of the Osborne outfit, definitely. I mean, she's the one who came up with Ozfest, and but I mean, she's as bad. Her father was infamous. Her father was Don Arden. She was Sharon Arden before she was Sharon Osborne. Her father, Don Arden, was considered like mafia in the music industry. Like he would send guys to beat people, like musicians. He would send guys to beat them up, like if he didn't get his 10%, or I mean, he was like horrible. Well, that's his daughter. She learned everything about managing music artists from him. Yeah, she married Lita Ford managed Lita Ford for a while. There were a few. That's why you had to do it. Close My Eyes Forever.
I was wondering how that came
at the time. Yeah, that at the time, Sharon was also managing Lita Ford.
So like, hey, collaborate.
Yeah, I mean, she's notorious for screwing people out of royalties. Lee Kerslake and Bob Daisley wanted to be properly credited for playing on because they weren't credited for playing on Diary of a Madman. It was the same band on Diary of a Madman as it was on Blizzard of Oz. They were not credited. They went to court to try to get credit for doing both albums. And Sharon promptly took all their parts off the albums, had musicians like Rob Trujillo, and I forget who the drummer was, but modern guys that were in Ozzy's band at the time re-record all their parts and put it out as a remaster.
So say no, well, you're no longer part of it, so no, you don't get credit. Basically.
Well, it's like if you're if you want credit for stuff that you did, well, I'm just going to take away what you did and replace it with something else.
Right. So Sharon literally took those riffs or those parts and had other people redo it, and now it's remastered.
So and of course, people like me, people who buy Ozzy records just said no to it. Like nobody bought it, nobody wanted it. We're getting a lot of stuff in chat.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm trying to catch back up on the chat. Going, wait a minute here. ZZ Top. Hey, Fly Guy, what's going on?
But you did. And I thank you.
It's like Billy Gibbons imitation. I love ZZ Top. Billy is like one of the most not common knowledge here, but Billy had a band before ZZ Top called the Moving Sidewalks.
Okay.
And they were the opening act for Jimi Hendrix all over Texas, and him and Jimmy became great friends. Jimi Hendrix himself said that Billy was the greatest guitar player he ever heard.
Damn.
Like he said that actually what Hendrix did, what Hendrix said was that Billy Gibbons was his favorite guitar player. So I mean, how cool is Billy Gibbons that he got to tour with Hendrix and got to be like good, like personal friends with him, and got to just hang out with him and be weird with him.
But it's like,
Billy Gibbons is another one. He's like not only one of my favorite guitar players, he's one of my favorite people.
It's like, what are you doing tonight? Oh, I'm hanging out with Jimmy. Jimmy who? Hendrix? The Jimmy? Yeah. I am not.
Well, as far as like the Texas music scene goes, I mean, Billy was already a well-known name in Texas. Excuse me.
Oh, you are.
Yeah, I'm dealing with a bad cold.
I saw that. I didn't take direct straights as direct straights. I knew you meant dire straits.
I like dire
straits. For nothing, get your chicks.
I never heard that before. No, that dire straits had to get clearance from ZZ Top for Money for Nothing. I don't know how you copyright a sound. I mean, that actually went to court once with the guy from Creedence Clearwater. I can't think of his name now. When he did that song, "The Old Man Down the Road."
Didn't CCR do that? Or
what's that? He got sued over it. Yeah, the Fantasy Records sued him, saying that it was too close to run through the jungle. You know, better run through the jungle.
And that, the old man,
the old man down the road. Like they said, it was too close. And he actually went to court and had to play both songs because Fantasy owned the rights to his, to his back catalog. They always say, like, never give up. That's why they always say never give up your publishing. He sold his publishing when things got tough for him, and Fantasy Records bought it and owned it. But you can't copyright a, because like that was his demonstration in court. It's like they sound close to one another because I'm me and that's how I sound. They found against Fantasy Records and in favor of, and I can't. God, he was in the band with his brother. I can't. John Fogerty.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fogerty actually got sued over sounding too much like Fogerty. Well, the song was one of his solo songs sounded too close to something that he'd written in the 60s.
If you think about it,
sorry.
I don't know. I think that like CC. Well, when Fogerty went out on his own, he was doing basically CCR stuff, and he had some of his own stuff to it. But
Fly Guy, to answer your question or to answer your comment, I never heard that Billy had invented two-handed tapping. EVH certainly did not. There were plenty of guitar players who were doing it long before Van Halen. What Eddie did was he just perfected it and turned it into a style. He'll be the first to admit that. The person that I heard that actually invented two-handed tapping and documented it on vinyl was Steve Hackett of Genesis. Genesis's original lead guitar player. I forget the name of the song, but he actually did two-handed tapping. There was also another guy, it might have been Bloomfield, who was doing it in the Roxy or something in LA. But there are plenty of accounts of people doing two-hand tapping long before Eddie.
Eddie was the one that just made it like more.
He popularized it. He it wasn't like, ooh, hey, watch, I'm going to do a trick and doodly doodly. His whole style was actually based around it. So that's what was interesting and unique about Eddie. Well, there was a lot of interesting and unique things about Eddie. I mean, for one thing, the guy never paid attention to 4/4 time signatures. I mean, he counted in like ones and sixes, I believe. Like he was, his sense of timing is just. I was watching an interview just today, as a matter of fact, with Alex Van Halen. Something he just put out a new book, so he's doing a book tour and everything, and he sat for a 1-hour interview. It was actually very fascinating. I mean, to a musician,
right?
He was saying that like they came out with some kind of AI thing they wanted to do, like the AI that does like the holograms and stuff.
Right.
They were trying to copy Eddie with the AI, and they can't do it because the way he counted in his head was so weird.
They just can't duplicate it.
Yeah, AI can't duplicate it. It doesn't, because it doesn't follow any kind of traditional musical structure. Eddie was a genius.
Mark, that's Pepper. I mean, Eddie, like, well, didn't like Eddie teach himself how to do everything? Like he didn't know how to play himself.
No, I mean there were some guys around Pasadena at the time. I forget the names. There are guys that never got recorded or anything, but there was like a guitar community. Like when you're a musician, you fall into that. When I lived in Laurel Run, it was weird but everybody in the trailer park played guitar. You know, like it was just something in the air, and we would all teach each other stuff. Like, oh, hey, I learned this. Watch this. You know, hey, how'd you do that? And like, there was no pretense, like, oh, you're not gonna let you see how I did that. You know, it was very open. We would just sit and share musical ideas, or you know, hey, I learned how to play Crazy Train. You want to learn? You know, kind of stuff.
Show like, hey,
And
let me show you how to do it, or hey, do you know how to do this? Let me show you. So everybody like working together to help everybody out.
Yeah, and I mean, musicians are generally like that. I haven't found anything different. Like, you know, I never walked up to somebody and said, "Hey, can you teach me how you just did that?" And no, that's my thing. Nobody ever does that. At least not in my experience. But yeah, Eddie was in that kind of milieu, if you want to use that word, in Pasadena, where there were like a lot of talented musicians. There actually, from what I understand though, there was, and it wasn't friendly. There was a rivalry between him and Randy Rhoads.
I could see that.
Yeah, and I don't understand why. I don't see a rivalry there. To me, what Randy was doing was completely different. Randy was coming from a very classical perspective. He was an accomplished classical musician, whereas Eddie was more like rolling blues scales.
Gotcha.
But I guess there's like, when you're talking about now you're talking about the club scene in LA, and I imagine that, you know, during those days that was pretty cutthroat. Bands like those, like Van Halen, was considered an anomaly when they got signed, because disco was the big thing, disco and punk. They got signed to, everybody thought they were a punk band, you know, because that's just, oh, you got a guitar, you must be a punk band. And what they did is they came along and gave rock and roll a good swift kick in the ass that it needed to get up and say, hey, you know, can't let disco take all this over.
Well, that's like going back to Ace Frehley. Like, he said one of the worst albums he did not like was Dynasty, because it went from, you know, they went from like playing rock and roll to like disco almost.
I was made for love.
I mean, it's a good song. Don't get me wrong, but it's like, and it made
Paul
money.
was a great songwriter. He still is.
Right. At least I remember them saying, what song was it? Back when the 45s were big.
Oh yeah, I had a bunch of them when I was a kid.
Just same here. It was Detroit Rock City, and they said they like the B side they put Beth.
Yeah.
Thinking nobody was gonna play it, and everybody started playing Beth and not Detroit Rock City, and they made a big hit on the song. Paul, the way interviewed Paul, said they made a big hit on something they didn't expect to even go anywhere.
Well, Peter actually wrote that one with another guy from the band Lips he was in before Kiss. I can't think of the other guy who wrote Beth. I know it was Gene Simmons who said the song was originally about a woman named Becky, and it was Beck, I hear you calling, and Gene was like, Beck.
Sounds like
Jeff Beck.
That's
what Gene said. He's like, what are you talking about, Jeff Beck? Change that, make it like Beth or something. And that he thankfully took his advice.
Big hit.
Well, yeah, like I said, Peter Criss actually wrote that one. He wrote and sang it. I believe the guy from Lips actually, like, you know, was responsible for the music. No other member of Kiss played on that. The guitar is done by a gentleman by the name of Dick Wagner, who was a studio musician who was around at the time. Played on a lot of Aerosmith stuff. You'd be surprised at how records are made if you know. But Dick Wagner did all that acoustic work on Beth, and of course the rest is strings and, you know, stuff like that.
Right.
They had an orchestra come in. And I can't think of the Beth's co-writer. But yeah, if Peter were here in this chat, he would remind us all that in '78 it won a People's Choice Award. because he just goes on about that ad nauseum. You know, I won a People's Choice Award for Beth. Yeah, Peter, we know.
He's a dick.
Peter Chris, why would you say that?
Because he's a dick. I had a chance to like literally when he was
I
playing.
remember, yeah.
When he was playing in his band, he left Kiss. Remember when up in the mall when there was the Gallery of Sound, and then there was another
Listening booth.
Okay, yeah, listening booth. Listening booth was like a sponsoring Peter Chris's. He was playing up at the Woodlands, and I guess listening booth was
Okay.
one of the sponsors, or something. So Peter Chris did a sign, a meet and greet, like a sign deal thing out in front in the middle of the mall, out in front of the listening booth, and.
Shit, how'd I miss that? Sorry.
How you doing, Mark? Greetings to Pittsburgh too. So me and my girlfriend at the time, we go up there, and I'm all because like listening up here and playing Beth and on the Kiss, and I was excited. I was ecstatic to meet this guy, and I come up to the table. I'm like, oh, and I go to like shake his hand, like didn't even like it seemed like the vibe he put out. He was told he had to be there. Like
I'm sure he was.
But like he didn't want to be there. Like he had because he was.
I'm sure he didn't.
And like his vibe was terrible. And then years later, when I got backstage, to meet all of them, he didn't even say hi to nobody. He just he came out with his bodyguard. His bodyguard like railroad train through the crowd, and he was gone into his car and left. Didn't even I'm like, really? Like, dude, these are people that help make you what you are today by buying the shit, and you can't even be nice to them? Like, I was like, damn. Well, I said to Paul Stanley because Paul came out. First thing Paul's like, how did you like the show? How basically like, oh, thank you for coming, blah, 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 blah. Really nice guy. And I'm like, Peter Chris is a dick. And he looked at me like he couldn't disagree with me, like he didn't come out and say, oh, yeah, but like, he would be like, well, he couldn't say no. Oh, Mark.
Okay.
Mark. How you doing, Mark? Again, hey, shout out to Pittsburgh. The other Mark's from Pittsburgh too, I think. Yeah, I think the other Mark's from Pittsburgh. So you have
Fly guy, I would agree with you, except for the fact that I never, you two never went disco. I could have, I can't even conceive of what a U2 disco album would be. But unfortunately, between Unmasked and Dynasty, we know exactly what a disco album is.
And I mean, I liked Unmasked. I mean, I don't think it was a bad album.
I like Ace's cuts on there, and Ace had an unprecedented. He had three or four songs on there, and it was like more or less like, okay, well, to keep the rock and it was more or less like, well, to keep the rock and roll people happy. And Peter Chris played on neither album, by the way.
Yeah,
he didn't play on. He played one song on Dynasty, and it was the one that he wrote and one that he brought, which was not Hard Times, Dirty Living.
Right.
Which was one of my favorite songs as a kid. But he played drums on that, and then Unmasked, he was completely uninvolved in the entire recording process. It was Anton Fig on both albums. Anton Fig was a drummer from South Africa.
Ended up being Ace's drummer for Frehley's Comet.
Yeah, he was. Anton was involved in Frehley's Comet. He was the drummer on Ace's first solo album, and also on some of his more recent work. He couldn't. They actually offered him the gig with Kiss, but he couldn't take it at the time. He was already contractually obligated to play on the David Letterman show. He was the house drummer. He was the house drummer with Paul Schaefer and all them.
Oh yeah, Paul Schaefer.
Yeah, he couldn't. He was under a contractual obligation. He couldn't join another band. It's the only reason why Anton Fig never actually ended up in Kiss. But yeah, I'm sorry, but when you start getting me like talking about music and stuff like that,
No, that's fine.
I know this stuff for whatever reason. But yeah, Anton Fig, all the drumming you hear on Unmasked
That was him.
is Anton Fig. Yeah. And apparently Peter was fine with it. Peter was he was going through it. His own solo album actually. He didn't play all the drums. He played some. His solo album was definitely the worst of the four. Ace has sold the best, and there's a reason why it's really good.
Paul's I wasn't too thrilled with.
He had some good songs. I mean, it's Paul Stanley. He's going to have good songs.
Yeah, but I was like, I liked Ace's better. Like Ace's was better.
Ace's was much better than the other three combined.
Right. Now, like I liked some of Gene's solo stuff. You know, like Radioactive, Living in Sin.
That was a good song. Actually, they say that Radioactive was written about Cher.
Oh, I didn't know that. But you know who's one of the backup singers for Gene on that album?
He had a cast of thousands. He had Helen Reddy. He had
Katie Seagal.
Yeah. Yeah, she was on there too.
The song when he did See You in Your Dreams or In Your Dreams Tonight, I forget the name of the song, but that like See You in Your Dreams Tonight. It ended up on a Kiss album, but at first it was on Gene's solo album, and Katie Seagal was the voice, like the backup female voice. That was Katie Seagal. Hey, Molly.
They almost had a Kiss or a Beatles reunion on Gene's solo album. He was trying to get the four members of the Beatles to sing backup vocals on one of his songs.
Oh, no kidding!
And John was very interested. I think Paul was interested. Like it was the kind of thing. Like it was just like contractually or time wise, they couldn't get the four guys together. But that he was determined. He wanted to get them like on vinyl, recorded.
Right.
And he wanted it like as a reunion on his solo album of the original four Beatles, even if it was just doing backing tracks.
Right. It would still been the Beatles. It's hiya girl. Hi Molly. It's I was gonna say something. I'm losing my train of thought. Hell, I forget what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry.
I'm starting to get tired. Well, I've been tired all day. That's my problem. But shit, I'm trying to remember what I was gonna say, and I can't remember. Shit, it must not have been important. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Part of me is starting to get tired. Part of me is my head's fogged. Not even from any good drugs or anything. It's just fogged.
It's age.
Yeah, probably. Hey, Molly. Come and say hi, Cliff? No? Okay. Shit. Well, I'm glad to see people are still hanging out with us. And again, if you're wondering, Fred the crewman, he's going to be out for a couple weeks. He got stuff going on, so we'll see Fred hopefully by the end of the year. But yeah, in case
I don't ever have anything going on.
Fred, yeah, me neither. Fred, I think was going to see Andrew Dice Clayton. I didn't realize that Dice Man was still doing tours.
Neither did I. When I saw that earlier, I had a laugh.
Oh yeah,
Little Boy Blue.
he needed the money.
He had to. He needed the money. Oh!
As far as I know, Dice did recorded one song. That
We had this discussion, I believe.
Oh yeah, I think we did. I Ain't Got You. Yeah, we did.
But I ain't got you. According to Ford Fairlane, though, he did a mean Puff the Magic Dragon, but only in the nude.
Mr. Rock and Roll Detective. Yeah.
I've seen that movie too many times.
Yeah, I know. And Robert Englund still plays like the psycho killer. He reminded me of Freddy Krueger, just not in the Freddy Krueger like get up. In that when he was played the bad guy in that movie.
Yeah, he cut up a koala bear.
Yeah. At the end, you don't think we're gonna kill the koala bear?
Wayne Newton was actually cool in that film, and it's hard to picture Wayne Newton being cool in anything. I'm sorry, and I do mean the disrespect.
Wayne.
Thanks.
No, he was just very, I don't know, like forced cool. Like I hung out with Elvis once, kind of cool.
Kind of like the Fonts. Happy to know.
He makes these jokes when I have food in my mouth.
I wasn't joking. I really meant the disrespect.
But it was funny.
But what he said to Ford Fairlane at a Hollywood party, well, you're an island of sanity and an ocean of diarrhea. I use that to this day. I love that phrase. That's like the one good thing that he said in that whole film.
Yep.
And he was just weird with a mustache too. Like it's like, oh man, that was just cringy looking.
Oh, shit on me. Not literally, though.
I was gonna say this isn't Germany, dude.
Yeah, I know. But
what? Scheiße films, they love them. Und ein Scheiße. Ja, ist gut. Ist gut. Ja, ist gut. Ja, Scheiße. Haben Sie Scheiße? Ah, Sie haben Scheiße. Das ist mein Scheiße. Sorry, I just like the word Scheiße. It's just funny.
Scheiße. That's
Funny that's their word for shit.
That's
Das ist mein Scheiße. Du hast mich. Well, anyway, don't shit on Jay.
yeah. It smelled too bad. Cheap black one. Oh. But yeah, I like the 80s stuff a lot better than today's stuff.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Music, movies.
That's the
Oh,
decade
yeah.
that gave us stuff like. And I ran so far away. Like,
I couldn't get away.
What about Fire Chat?
I said that you see me private chat.
Oh no, I didn't. I can't.
Ah.
Let me scroll. I have to scroll down to see that. I think.
Mine pops right up.
Yeah, mine too. Computer. Look, he's on his phone. But no, I'm glad that you guys were able to hang out tonight. Like I'm just fighting to keep my eyes open. Like
Okay.
I'm
hungry anyway. And I think it's like rude to sit here and eat. So.
no, it's. But guys, so let's wrap this down.
I'm
So we did a good 2.5 hours. So I'm thankful for all you guys. And till next week, until we see everybody again next week. Everybody, Marcus, Mark, the two Marks, Fly Guy, Thank you all for hanging with us. TA, Twerk and Apricot, thank you. And we will see you all next week.